our boss is
pretty cool,
is on top
man.
of it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Podziemski and Jonathan Kaminga. And I want to play a couple pieces of sound. This is from a game in November. The Minnesota Timberwolves were in town. Draymond Green did Draymond Green things. He ended up getting thrown out of the game. That was the fight with Gobert.
Oh, wow.
And the Warriors hung in there.
Okay.
Let's just listen to some of what Steve Kerr said after that game in November.
In order to win in the NBA, obviously you have to have talent, but you have to have energy. You have to bring something to the table life-wise, like joy-wise, energy-wise, competitiveness-wise. And that's what I watched tonight, from the whole group. Clearly, Brandon has that. That's pretty obvious. And our fans have watched this team win 4 championships. They weren't won by, a bunch of powders and wallflowers. They were won by gamers, competitors, guys who brought energy and joy and passion to everything. And that's what it takes. So that's what I'm looking for.
Wow. There
was somebody conspicuously absent there.
Wow. Man.
And I guess in that game, Pods had 23 and Kaminga had 5. Now, that's why we picked the game. But I'm going to play something else in a second. Let me get to this super chat by Ion. Pods is Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart smashed into one player. He does everything the three of them do, but his defense is most similar to Brunson. Ion is a huge fan.
I'm not mad at that. He said Dante DiVincenzo. Wow.
Hey, Steve Kerr, Draymond got kicked out tonight. You guys hung in there. Your young players did a nice job. Just talk more about it.
It was just an amazing performance by our guys to be so shorthanded and to fight and compete the way they did. It was just beautiful to watch. I give credit to Minnesota. They've probably been the best team in the league to this point. Number one defense. They've beaten a lot of good teams, and they took over in the fourth. Towns made some really big shots for them, and they held us to 18 points, so they earned it. But I couldn't be more proud of our guys. They just competed like crazy, and it was really fun to watch.
All right, so there he talked about the group as a whole.
And he got him 2 more years.
Are you ready?
Socks off.
Are you ready for an unbelievable stat? I couldn't believe
Carter
this.
and I and our guy, we'll tell
and
the
this
fans.
This isn't. See, this is where
Ken will tell.
This
Ken
is
will
where
tell us.
Goo. I want you to look.
Be careful.
Forget me.
Yeah.
Forget me.
It's not hard to do.
Just look at this data. It was cold.
Yeah.
Look at this data, and what does it tell you? Last year, Brandon Podziemski averaged more minutes per game than Jonathan Kaminga. Brandon Podziemski played more last year than Kaminga.
Yep.
It was close, but Pods played 26.6 minutes per game last year, and Kaminga played 26.3. My point is this. Doesn't that tell you a little bit about Steve Kerr and what he thinks?
No doubt. And again, we're not pitting these two against each other, because if the Warriors had their brothers, they would be, both of them would be the starting 5, future 2 components of a future starting 5. But with what you're saying, I wonder if Jonathan sees that or hears that and that bothers him. Not that he's worried about what's happening with Pods, but it speaks to his IQ, Pods, and his ability to fit in and get this offense and play the game longer than Kaminga's been playing. But I do wonder, let's keep it real, Steiny. Kaminga went to the press 2 times. You could say, he just was having a conversation. He went to the press about how he's being dealt with and his playing time. And I give him kudos. He just put the rat on the table and didn't give a damn what happened. And you know what happened? He took off. But that doesn't shock me as much as I think you thought. Pods he knows how to fit in.
So Pods, in year 1.
And the GP2 injury, Steiny.
In year 1.
You can't forget that.
Like Draymond wasn't suspended? Like Wiggins has been holding down the 3 at 40 minutes a game?
Yeah.
The bottom line.
That was a good one. That was a good retort.
The bottom line is Pods, in his first year, with 1 year of college experience, played more last year than Jonathan Kaminga, who's going to be entering his 4th year next year.
Huh?
All I'm saying is that might give you a little insight into the way the Warriors think. And you know what? It's not like we all haven't heard the fans. A lot of the fans say Kaminga should be playing more.
Oh, that's been around for... No, I got you.
But he's not.
But this is the year for him, Stoney, I believe.
Well, last year was supposed to be the year for him.
You're correct. If Joe Lacob said he still had a good year, there was growth.
He did have a good year. But Pods played more than him.
Yeah.
Which is unreal to me. Unbelievable. So Steve Kerr, who's played no young guys for the most part since he took over the team. Podziemski's played more than any young player that's ever come through his system. And last year, Podziemski played more than Kaminga.
No, he is the poster.
I think they like him.
Yeah, okay.
I know Steve Kerr does.
Safe to say.
Exactly.
And kudos to the Pods.
Exactly.
How the hell you out-rebounded Kaminga? Or guys like that? Or just around the league?
I know why.
He's got heart.
Thank you.
And he knows what it takes to stay on the court. That's what high school coaches preach. When I coached St. Anne's, Eddie House, I used to say the same stuff to the kids.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Con.
I mean, that goes back to my. I think the Warriors think that Kaminga is more of a project than a lot of us do. I think they think, and they can be. Let me ask you this, Donnie.
Can they be happy with where Kaminga's at, predicated on the project? Do you think that?
I think he's in a good. I like where Kaminga's at. I do.
See, I don't. Okay,
but
does
I don't
Curry like where he's at, or the team, to where when Draymond was gone, you didn't take over and we didn't make the playoffs?
What do you mean?
I'm not blaming Kaminga, but if he was that dynamic when Dre was out, that's when Kaminga could have took off. But he's always got a roadblock, man. That jump that we talk about, that we could see and we get flashes, was it so great that we could lean on him when Dre was out and we could make the playoffs? They didn't make the playoffs, and that's on everybody. But I think about what Curry's thinking about Kaminga.
I mean, when I look at last year, the young guys were not the problem, and that includes Kaminga. Man. I don't think he was the problem. But here's the thing. Why couldn't Kaminga essentially supplant Wiggins? Why, after Wiggins was sleepwalking through half the year, why didn't Steve Kerr just say, Kaminga's better?
You figured that.
I know.
Okay.
And I'm giving you the answer.
He's not ready.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it. Like, that's what the team is telling me. So that's just kind of.
But if both of those guys could mesh and play together, the Warriors would have been. They would have been a problem, man.
Who?
Wiggins and Kaminga.
You think they
there was
play
that
together?
Whole thing they couldn't play together.
They can't.
And then Dre made it pop when he came back from the suspension. And you're thinking the what ifs. But those are two wings, man. They can do a lot.
They can do less than most wings in the entire league. The problem with Wiggins and Kaminga is they both have the same kind of strengths and the same kind of weaknesses. Neither rebounds.
That is wow.
Both of them are pretty good on the ball, very mediocre off-the-ball defenders.
Wow, man. And I get it. I see you, on the YouTube chat. Wiggins is way too inconsistent. Man. Hello?
Yeah. Anyway, we were just batting this around because the funny thing is we played some of that sound about Tim McMahon of ESPN and Anthony Slater, and the boss was saying, wait a minute. You're telling me that Brandon Podziemski might hold up a deal. And we were talking about the word untouchable. And how many untouchables are there in the Bay Area right now?
Damn.
Guys you would not trade. Now, when you hear untouchable, like I'm kind of with Shasky in terms of, boy, we got to define untouchable and be precise about it. Because if we're going to go literal, well, Steph Curry's not untouchable. I mean, if Milwaukee said, we'll give you Giannis for Curry, I think the Warriors would do it. So, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about, I think we can all agree Steph Curry right now is untouchable.
Yes.
Okay.
The only one on that team, and I don't like it.
Well, in pods, that's been established.
Now, there you go. But no, that's the only one on the ledger for me.
For the Warriors.
And you know what comes with that?
What?
Well, damn. It might be a little thin around here. How'd the team do last year? Oh, the team with just Curry, the OG, under the column of untouchable?
Okay.
How'd they do?
Okay, well.
No
okay.
playoffs.
Who was
that matches? That's why I don't like, give me another name on the Warriors. You, Carter, or anybody. Who's untouchable?
Okay, since 2022, I'll give you the last 2 years. Who's been untouchable? It's been just Curry for the last 2 years, is what I'm saying. Like, this isn't
There was a time I thought before the pre-punch that Jordan Poole was untouchable.
I mean,
when he inked that deal, I thought he was going to be part of the future. Stoney.
I think Clay and Draymond obviously were untouchable, but Clay became touchable, clearly, and I think Draymond Green...
Poole got touched.
I think Draymond Green could be traded for the right deal.
I'm with you, too.
So I do think it's only Curry. But 888-957-9570 is the number. We're going to go through some teams here and get some of your thoughts. But give me some players in the Bay that you absolutely wouldn't trade unless it were some kind of deal that were absolutely, positively out of this world.
Nick,
Carter, what's going on?
Don't you feel like they've shown you already that they are not willing to to part ways with Draymond? I mean, he's gone through maybe the most tumultuous year of his career at this point. It's only up from here, for God's sake, for him. I just think
Carter,
at this point,
you're fighting a good fight. I don't want to cut you off, but you sound like me every day. But whatever he's done, you got to give him magna cum laude for making the Warriors believe in him, man.
Wouldn't they have already gotten rid of him at this point?
He would have never got that deal last summer.
No, I think when it comes to Draymond Green, the Warriors thought he was untouchable 2 years ago, maybe, and last year because they gave him a contract. But I think everything changes, and I think Draymond Green.
I don't have him under untouchable right now, guys.
I don't think the Warriors do either.
Okay. I'm not hating. I just don't feel that right now.
I think.
But you got my point of the exercise.
Yeah. Well, what about
the fact
this?
that the Warriors have one guy and it's the OG is not good? Or am I missing somebody?
Well, I would just say it hasn't been that way for a couple years now on the Warriors. Shasky brought up an interesting name in the crossover. No.
Okay, that was great.
He said, and if we're gonna go down this road, let's go down this road. About Steve Kerr. I think he's untouchable. You're not going to fire Steve Kerr in the next 2 years.
But you and I have done radio 10 to 2 thinking it might be coming when he didn't have that contract at an early juncture last year. But he's only got 2 years. But again, he's a top 5 coach to me. So I guess I'll call him untouchable.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to get fired. I don't think he can do anything to get fired in the next 2 years. I mean, obviously, things change quickly in the NBA, as Steph Curry said.
In this league.
You know, I don't, maybe I think Steve Kerr's untouchable right now. He's got 2 more years left in his deal. He'll finish up, I think, and he'll be fine. Yeah.
I hate to agree with Steinmetz.
About the Giants.
Good. Wow, man. I want to put Webb down there. I won't.
Okay.
And Shasky had stole my thunder in regard to the timeline, but it's not about that. It's about how you feel. And Logan Webb's a damn good pitcher, just made his all-star game, Stoney. But when this team pops again, I just feel like they're a few years away from that happening, and they'll have a new Logan Webb. You can be like, well, that sounds ludicrous. But my point is, if you could use him to get you a Judge or Ohtani or some guy that you thought could get to that status, like a top prospect, I would do it. Because right now, I don't know what they're about to embark on the second half. Hopefully it's the playoff series. But if not, Steiny, I'm thinking about the next chapter of this team, and Ramos would be the only guy. Shasky threw in Bailey. I like Bailey, but he wouldn't be untouchable. Ramos is the only one. Think about that.
I'd put Webb in there. I would. And the reason I put Webb in there is because of one reason and one reason only. All we ever talk about with the Giants is, can they develop anybody? Can we get to know these
Carter
guys?
said what you're about to say.
Can we do this? Can we do that? Can we find a guy the fans can? I mean, Webb's been here, 5 years
but
now?
And I love that, and I'm asking both of you because Carter said that during the break. But how does that help me on the field about the origin of the player?
Oh, now it doesn't matter
No, I'm
that
asking.
the Giants haven't made a connection with their fans because they run players through here every 1 or 2 years. Listen, I'm not saying I wouldn't trade Logan Webb for Aaron Judge. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if we're going to list the Giants' most untouchable guys, like Logan Webb to me would be number one because he's a homegrown guy. He's like, you know what? I'm sorry. He's the only Giant that any fan really knows.
Oh.
And that's supposed to be important to this team. They need where are the Posies? Where's the Belts? Where are the Lincecums? Where are the Crawfords? Where are the
Steiny, it sounds like you're making the same argument for trading Steph, though. You know what I mean?
Steph's untouchable.
Oh.
He's untouchable. And there's degrees to this, but what I'm saying is, of course, if you can get 2 Cy Young winners for one, for Brandon, I'm just saying, of all the Giants, Webb's the last guy I would trade because to me, he's your best pitcher by far, might be your best player, and he's got the longest tenure here to have made some kind of connection with the fans who have been clamoring to have a connection with a player or players since they won titles.
Yeah, and I guess I hope I'm not sounding like I'm down on Webb. I'm not, but Steiny, he's your best pitcher during a dark time. Can't we say it's a dark time right now? You won 107, but it's been a while, you know? And I'm not undermined. Dude was just in the All-Star game yesterday.
I mean, I really feel like
I'm not robbing him of anything.
The word untouchable, I don't want to take it literally because Curry's touchable if you think about it. Of course he is. Somebody wants to go get Steph Curry for a 25-year-old superstar, the Warriors are going to do it. But they're not going to.
Yeah,
And what I'm saying is, of all the Giants players, okay, there's nobody untouchable. But to me, the most untouchable would be Logan Webb.
How about on the Niners? Now that's where Bosa.
I'd put McCaffrey first.
Steiny, he's older than Bosa. He's one injury away. He's a running back. He's a couple years from 30.
Player. He's our best player.
I'm not mad at that.
I think if you take Christian McCaffrey off the Niners, they're not going to win a Super Bowl.
I don't believe that. And the reason I don't believe that, if you lose Ayuk, I really don't, but I'll change my tune. But damn it, what has Kyle got to show you? He's taking the team to a Super Bowl with Elijah Mitchell and other guys as their starting running back, Steiny.
So you don't think he's untouchable?
He would be on my list as untouchable. I was just telling you.
He's my number one.
I'm giving Kyle more credit. Okay.
He's my number one guy.
I got Bosa. Forget the order. I got Bosa and McCaffrey. I got Fred Warner on that list.
Well, I got Trent Williams, too.
Trent. I don't want to throw shade at Trent.
He missed 3 games last year. They lost them all.
Man, that's a fact.
I got Bosa third.
All right.
McCaffrey, Williams, Bosa.
Where's Debo?
I have Purdy fourth. And then I have a tie for fifth, Debo Samuel and Fred Warner.
So no Debo or Ayuk?
No, Ayuk, no. No.
Why you say it like you don't like him? I mean, he's better.
He's better than what?
Well, him and Debo are so different that that's what makes him unique. And
that's why I like Debo. Yeah, I like Debo more.
No, well, I'm just telling you, the reason I'm bringing that up, be careful what you wish for. If you think Pearsall could come in, we still don't know what's going on with him, but he can be Ayuk. More power to you, Kyle.
And be careful about thinking that Ayuk is so important the franchise can't go forward without him. Brian and Hayward. What's up, Brian? How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Thanks for taking my call. Hey, I just want to touch on something. Speaking of untouchable,
yeah.
Goo came up with a real nice one a few minutes ago. He said, Poole got touched. He's right. He got touched.
Yeah,
he got touched. We moved him. We promised our fan base we were going to have a guy exciting enough to carry us over the next few years with Steph and, like you said, after Steph. But look what happened, guys. You know, I'm not pointing fingers. trying to see, how we moved on from that. We got lucky. We got unlucky with Wiseman. We got lucky with Kaminga and Pods and TJD and even Moody. So, you gotta roll with what you got and be careful about who you give up. I don't want to give up Pods. Look at SGA. They gave him up, and look where he brought his team, So I'm just saying things like that are kind of like an example for us to consider when we think about moving young players like Kaminga. Dude, I don't want to move Kaminga. I don't want to move Moody either, but realistically, if we put Wiggins and Moody and some other stuff together, we could get something back for him. And I think that's our best move right now. But, Goo, one more time, shout out, line of the day. The Pooh got touched. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Glad you liked it, buddy.
It was all right.
He liked it.
Yeah, he did.
He looked a couple of times.
He did.
Hey, let me give my love, Stoney.
By the way, anybody saying Macklin Celebrini, you're late to the party. That was one of my originals.
Yeah.
And if you really want to get in untouchable, like Victor Wembanyama is untouchable.
No doubt.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the Bay, it's getting real.
And Jonathan
outside
Kaminga.
of the Niners, it's real. It's getting a little sketchy. We need to add some to the list. Giants and Warriors, I'm talking to you. Now, what if, you brought up Purdy, please help me with this when you and Carter. What if the Warriors' Purdy is Pods?
What if the Warriors' Purdy
they found a diamond that is better than a lot of people thought, and the impact he'll have on us maybe he could be a starter.
That would be great.
Maybe he's an all-star. I'm not robbing that kid of anything, but I get the flip side where the people are pessimistic about, please, watch these people come at Pods now because he hit the scene and they didn't take him serious.
All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. And we're talking about who in the Bay Area is untouchable, or who are the more untouchable players, or the most untouchable players. I mean, we saw Joe Montana get traded, so we know that pretty much everybody is untouchable, or everybody's pretty much touchable. But we're talking about right now. I think we can all agree that right now, Curry's probably the most untouchable guy in the Bay Area. But what do you guys think at 888?